at home failed to collect all 3 points in a 3-3 draw with next to last Granada. So what does it mean at the top of the table? Well, a missed opportunity, at least for Barcelona, to pull even further ahead of Atletico Madrid, who themselves did not have a great weekend. And then at the bottom of the table, massive result for Granada. At least that 1 point will feel better as it pulls them a little bit further away from last place, Almeria. For more on this one, let's welcome to the show our very own former Barcelona man, Luis Garcia. Luis, what's the big takeaway from this game? As we said, there was some moments of magic. There were 3 goals from Barcelona, but at the end of the day, you shipped 3 against next to last place. That's got to be a major disappointment.
And I'm sure that Xavi, even though that in the last few minutes you could see that he was trying to push the players, trying to push them and tell them that they have chances, because actually they create quite a few chances. They capitalized 3 of them, but in the end it's all about how many problems Barcelona has got at the back. As you could see in a couple of the goals, players were running around, not knowing what is their position, what the ball is going to be, looking at each other to say, you have to cover me, or I'm the one who's covering this space. So there is really a misunderstanding, judgment at the back. And that's the problems that Barcelona has been having during the whole season. It doesn't matter if it's Garcia with Christensen or with Araujo or with Koundé. In the end, there is a lot of problems Barcelona needs to address at the back, because that's the only way that they are going to change and trying to be more consistent. It was the 3rd time, and Gemma mentioned in the beginning of the game, the 3 games in a row that Barcelona could have get a good result, a victory, and maybe lift them a little bit until the end of the season, knowing that the distance with Real Madrid is just too big to catch them up. But in the end, it is a big disappointment to see once again Barcelona scoring 3 goals and conceding 3 at the same time.
Ale, as we look around this Barcelona 11, because we can talk about the manager all we want, who for you is not pulling their weight, or at least didn't in this game today?
Across the board, you can point the finger every which way. Defensively, Barcelona are embarrassing. When you think about Barcelona this season, and it's not just this game, it's Alavés, it's Mallorca, it's Almeria. It doesn't matter who they play against, Celta de Vigo, so on and so forth. Whoever they play, and we mentioned that in the pregame, if you play against Barcelona, you're going to score goals. That is how bad they have been defensively. It doesn't matter how much you've been struggling in front of goal, you're going to get opportunities against Barcelona. And today was yet another good example of that. They have so many difficulties defensively with just lack of structure, just basic defending. I'm not even talking about, hey, we're going to be Italy in the 90s. We're just going to be Il Catenaccio and sit back behind the ball and nobody's scoring. I'm not asking you to be Atletico Madrid under Simeone, old school Atletico Madrid. No, I'm not saying Diego Godin has to play center back for you. No. I'm asking just basic stuff. And so when you look at the second goal, for example, Jules Koundé, who's playing right back, Garcia is the center back. Garcia doesn't get enough on the header in terms of the goals that they scored today, and we can go through all the goals that they have been scored this season, and it's not like teams are breaking Barcelona down with some incredible play and that you would say, you know what, hey, Jude Bellingham in El Clásico, you put it in the top corner, hey, you can't do much about that. But not this. This is happening week in and week out. And it goes back to a point that we made at halftime and we made at pregame. I'm being told by people, you know what? Xavi, having announced the fact that he's going at the end of the season, means that the players are now free of this pressure. He told us that now the players will be freed of this pressure. The problem is, I don't care what pressure they feel free now. They can't defend. And so now, magically, just because Xavi announced whatever he announced, it doesn't mean that now you can defend, because you're still lacking structure. You're still lacking basic concept. You're still lacking effort defensively. And until you stop that, until you stop giving up 3 goals to a second-to-last place team, then we're going to continue to be having these conversations.
We saw it at the half, Xavi in frustration, punching the chair after the goal from Granada. Luis, you know Xavi well. What do you think he's most frustrated about coming off this performance?
There are a few things that I'm sure that he must be they're very disappointed and frustrated about it. First thing is why Barcelona is, of course, conceding so many chances, so many options, because Ali is talking about the pressure. You feel the pressure when you're on the ball. That's when you can have the pressure because you don't know what you have to do with it, where to pass the ball, the movements. But when the problems that Barcelona is having is when he's not on the ball. That's when they are having a lot of trouble. Where the players have to be, where the covers have to be done. If the centre back has to cover the fullback have to cover the. That's the problems that they have. And of course, Xavi can create a system and a style of play, but when the ball is on the move, he cannot be with remote control like a PlayStation, move the player where they should be. That's the players where they have to understand, analyze the game, and read what is happening on the field. And that's something that we cannot go on Xavi's. We have to look at the players and tell them, listen, guys, you have to be more focused. You have to be reading the game every single time, because Ali was mentioning about that goal. Iñaki Martinez out of position because he's left his position to go to the wide area. So he's the fullback, the left fullback, who have to cover the place, or the center midfielder who has to cover his place. And that's not happening. Everybody is ball watching. So you cannot go to Xavi and tell him, listen, make your players do that, because they are the players who have to take those decisions. So I'm thinking that that's what Xavi is most frustrated about, that the players are not able to read what is happening on the field or what is needed to be done.
The thing about Lamine Yamal is that while we have these conversations about this overwhelming pressure that these Barcelona players are feeling, well, if indeed that's the case, then you would have to imagine that the 16-year-old Lamine Yamal would be feeling it as well. And he plays pressure-free. He plays, give me the ball and I'm taking players on. Give me the ball and I'm cutting to the inside, I'm cutting to the outside. It's a step over, it's creative, it's scoring goals, it's creating chances for others. It's being an option when somebody has the ball, actually making a move ahead of the ball so that you make yourself available. There's a lot going on right now from Barcelona. When somebody has the ball, there's a lot of this, I'm going to make the movement, but not really. I don't really want this ball because I don't want to get myself in trouble. Lamine Yamal right now is not afraid of that trouble. He's actually welcoming the pressure. There's a maturity to his game that you wouldn't expect from the 16-year-old, that you would expect from other people in this team, that is not quite happening for others, but it is happening for him.
There you have it. Yamal, the youngest player ever to score 2 goals in La Liga. Luis said he was 17. He's not 17 yet. He still won't turn 17 until the summer. It really
you know
is,
how Luis is.
Just remarkable.
My bad.
Accuracy very important to us here on
He looks 17,
ESPN.
though. He does.
He looks 17. He looks.
He's grown up quite a bit. Well, this season has made him older.
Thank you very much, Luis. One more game to go then in match day 24 across La Liga, and that is on Monday afternoon right here on ESPN+. Big game for Athletic Club, who currently sit 5th, just 3 points back of Atletico Madrid, who were the last team in the top 4. They're heading to Almeria, who, as you saw earlier, in a absolute dogfight